Alright, hi everyone, welcome. And today I'm gonna do some casting for Phoenix Rising League. This is the game between the CFG and RTRG. So looking at the team roster right here, what I think they should have done is like they're waiting for a spectator delay. That means they're in game right now. Well, I'm looking for the keystone that comes with the champion that I picked, but it's not here. So I guess we're gonna have to see um, in the Summoner League, Summoner Rift, but there's probably not gonna be the secondary tree available to analyze also. So looking at this thing, the only thing worth mentioning for me, I guess, is the Nami with Ignite. As I'll say that like your ADC, your carry is running TP, and that's G2 perk set. When you're running a TP is only like whether you're not looking to fight and you're only looking to farm the entire laning phase, like really try to avoid fighting, or you're gonna need a really good support to like keep you safe alive and basically like make impact in the laning phase. Ezreal and Yumi here. They're like a heavy Pokemon. Ezreal is going to run TP naturally like 100%, and Yumi is the only wild card here, so she can either run Ignite or she can run heal. So it's really up to her. But combat summoners wise, they're gonna have much more impact if they have a heal over you. So what I would suggest here is the Nami to take Ignite instead of to take Exhaust instead of Ignite, because the Camille is gonna TP, the Trade 4 is gonna dive your AD carry, and Ignite Exhaust is gonna be very good to protect that, unless you're really again you're really confident with your ability to peel for your ADC. Your Ignites only counter a little bit of the second Q of Camille or Yumi, but I don't think that is the perfect choice here. You can even run heal, but I think heal is a little bit far fetched, I guess, in terms of keeping your ADC alive. So because the severe the natural win condition for her is just to get um, ER as soon as possible. As soon as he gets ER, then she can pretty much like have impact on the game. If she's behind, there's still another win condition. It's 6 item, but uh, in terms of like just analyzing micro, I think he was a little bit far fetched. But Exhaust definitely it's gonna help your AD carry a bit more.
Corki, I think Azir is one of those champions that scales mid to late game and can definitely turn the tides of a fight with the Shurima shuffle.
Um, Azir currently is in a really like OP spot, and he's gonna get nerfed next patch. He's basically an early game champion. He's basically a late game champion with an early game fresher as of currently, especially if you run the material build. So we'll see if this Azir run the material, but he's gonna have a lot more impact in mid lane, early game than the core key, which gonna need like at least a Sheen to do some damage, considerable damage. We'll see.
If they're able to do so, I think Ezreal definitely can buy some time for himself as well. So I'm excited to see this, and they also have a very possible 1-4 composition where they can just stack people four people down mid lane and have Camille side lane. And that's definitely a really good possibility here.
Yeah, I do agree with you that it is a good enough possibility. I think it's something that can kind of go down. What I am way more interested in, honestly, is this kind.
Therefore, one is not the best. They don't have a front line for Ezreal and Yumi and Azir to poke, and like they don't have a strong siege con, which like they can take turret with the Ezreal as an ADC. So 4-1 is possible, but it's not the strongest. This I have to disagree with the caster.
Kind of, Camille, Jarvan, Azir combo that they've kind of drafted themselves. We've seen, Jarvan Cataclysm, Camille gets on the Hextech ultimatum. We've seen kind of Camille, Jarvan use that, and then maybe Azir uses the ult to kind of get them in there. We've seen it used in different capacities, but I have to say that the three of them in particular can kind of cause a lot of disruption in a team fight depending on how their ultimates are used. Because easily, you could use your Camille ultimate that's kind of a single out a target, use your Azir ult to kind of knock everyone else away, but still keep that single target in line, and then maybe have Jarvan kind of lock it down. Like, there's actually a lot of different, like, just mentally think about it, there's a lot of ways.
So there's a lot of ways to think about it, right? Camille J4 is ultimate is really good for isolating targets, or for J4's case, you can trap multiple people in for the Ezreal and Yumi to ult. So looking at the damage and in terms of where they're gonna come from, most of them are gonna come from the Ezreal ultimate and the Yumi's ultimate. Azir late games also gonna do lots of AoE in a very confined space. So I would like count on the J4 to like trap multiple people inside its ult. And maybe the Azir is gonna help with the combo like pre-mentioned by the casters. But ultimately I just want the J4 to make plays like to trap multiple people in. And then these guys can dish out tremendous amount of burst AoE damage and win the team fight.
Triage of ults can be used in a single fight, and I'm curious to see how they play it out, if they just kind of use everything as soon as they can. As far as on the left side, when you look at this, it's going to entirely, I think, come down to kind of Sivir and Kled. I think it'll really come down to using that on the hunt with the charge, getting an effective use out of all of that available movement speed, and really moving around the map and maneuvering the fight to,
Well, I kind of agree with them like that, but I don't think is a very good combination to like go with civilian class. I mean, if you're trying to pick people off and like make fast rotation around the map, I think they could possibly be dangerous. But normally I would be looking for some combo like Glad and Nami, because the thing is you can dodge both of them at once. You either dodge the Glad or you dodge the Nami. And also Sejuani is really dangerous with the bonus movement speed that comes from the Glad, and with all the disruptions going on between the Glad ultimate and Nami ultimate, right? So Sivir can provide some extra movement speed once they reach the target, but I don't think the combo between the Glad and the Sivir is gonna be used as often. Sejuani see herself as an initiator, so she can like be really impactful already by herself. But with the help of Kled and Sivir, and if like they should decide to combo their ults, her ult don't even need to like reach multiple people anymore. She only needs to provide an AoE slow so that these guys can get on them. And we have also had a package from Koki, so this card is a really strong engaged card. So I kind of seeing like that some counter for this card towards the Azir and then Ezreal Yumi's card. They don't even have a strong siege card already, but they don't even have the disengage required to keep himself alive also in this kind of 5v5 situation.
Avoid the Ezreal skill shots, avoid kind of Jarvan flag and drag, or even kind of avoid the Camille hook shot. There's plenty of things you can use that movement for, and I want to see them take effective use out of that and not just kind of use the charge to walk face forward without really paying attention to where they're moving.
The whole point of the movement speed is to dive them, so you're gonna walk forward and you're gonna dive fast first and you're gonna take some damage. So that's why you need the situation to like take some damage, especially the class also is gonna be like mid tanky in the game. But yeah, you're gonna take damage. There's no way you dark this guy without taking any damage.
Yeah, and I think charge is actually really good here because you can also put tidal wave in a position where you're forcing Tempest Rampage to choose. Are we just gonna eat the tidal wave, or are we gonna let Kled get the charge, right? Because you can cut off 1 point of exit for Tempest Rampage, and it guarantees the charge, or you kind of just force them to be pressured into the corner, right? So I kind of like this idea, but then you look at like the options that Tempest Rampage has. They have Azir Shuffle, they have Cataclysm, they have Hextech Ultimatum. I think all these tools kind of help this very linear approach that Conform Gaming has, where it's more of, okay guys, I think we're just going to run it down very fast and hope we can burst them down. But I think there's a lot of disruption, like you said, on the top of Tempest Rampage that might just be able to contest it. And I think Ezreal needs to 100% go Iceborne Gauntlet this game. Most Ezreals do anyways. We don't see Triforce as often as we used to. But this is definitely one of those games where Iceborne Gauntlet is going to be...
Yeah, Iceborne Gauntlet is gonna be really good for us in this game. Especially you guys don't have that much amount of AP damage anyway. But interesting to point out here is the Corki package and how it interacts with the rest of the enemy team. So when J4 ultimate and also the Camille ultimate is gonna isolate the target, but they also isolate themselves from their team. So the package can cause further disruption, and especially Camille, if she gets removed out of ultimate, then ultimate just disappear entirely. And J4, if he instead of trapping like multiple enemy, he's also trapping multiple of his teammate or even himself inside the ring. The package can just go straight through of his ultimate, and he's pretty much taking full damage head on of the package. But yeah, I would prefer to have some more kind of like misdisplacement just to like save whoever gets ult by the Camille. You can, like, for example, Zir here, so he can R people like out the J4 or inside the J4 ult, but he can also save people that get ulted by Camille. So some more like displacement of the position skills would be good. But I guess you guys don't really need that, right? Because what you're looking for with this comp is just like to run them down, get them in the pass position.
Be able to buy Kiri enough time to kite out these team fights.
Yeah, I do think you're definitely right about that. I think it's really going to come down to how effectively they can kite, if they can use their tools to get so. And I think it's going to come down to, similar to kind of game one, it will kind of come down to how the junglers decide to impact, because they both have some decent...
So, like, really high scan comps. And they're doing the same thing with Corki, right? Because Corki, it's not like Cassiopeia level, where Cassiopeia is just busted when she gets 4 items, but Corki still kind of has that same fundamentals. For each other go on the rift, and we'll be back with you guys shortly. Rather, in this lane matchup.
Hey, so look like they're both starting from the blue side.
Yeah, is it starting to run the door?
We might be looking at the diagonal jungling here.
Orange shield, which, you know, I think is, I mean, let's say we saw it earlier. We saw it earlier. Okay, we know use this to keep a little bit of sustain.
So what you could have done there is put a word at bird early. I mean, the access is not that bad also, but you can see if the Trayful is going for the bird, or like have a vision of him early game.
Out and kind of take advantage of that.
J4 is way stronger than Sejuani early games and have way more impact, so I would be more wary of his movement on the map.
You know we're going to be behind at the early. That's kind of what Corki did against the Karma, right? It was more just like, you know, oh hey, we're going to use this to not take too much damage from that inner resolve, kind of take a little bit of health back, a little bit of health.
You see, J4 is already moving to his third camp, and Sejuani is still on his second camp.
Ezreal's kind of used to doing that though, because he's used to kind of having that bit of an early deficit.
So right now your team have no idea where the J4 is, and we'll see how he pushes this impact like over the Sejuani. Bot lane is pushing and it's good because the jungler is on this side, but it's still a little bit risky because J4 is a really good level 2 ganker already. You did put a word here, which is a very good call, but if J4 decides to come, you either gonna have to burn the flash or something. Like there's no way Sejuani is gonna come over and help you in time. He's just much lower. And right now, J4 is
as opposed to something like we saw
doing the golem, so he's definitely gonna get a level advantage over the Sejuani.
earlier. But either way, it will work out kind of to its purpose, as hitting that level 2 means that they can kind of be a bit more in the face now of this Sivir.
Yeah, and definitely opting for those klepto procs rather than minion waves, which is the common trend with like Ezreal, because kleptomancy is one of like those runes that's kind of built for him. And I mean, that's just kind of how
This looks pretty bad.
champion design works. You know, klepto complements him.
Yeah, your jungler is half the map away, and you're fighting a Camille. Assuming that usually jungler is gonna start at the bot side, right? They're gonna start at the bot side and walk up. So this around 3 minutes when you fight and overextend like this, expect the enemy jungler to run you down. You did put a word here, so you detected him, but you're too late because you're so overextended. And he's walking right up here. You might have to burn your flash, and if you're lucky, you're gonna live. But this is a very bad call. Sejuani is half the map away. There's no way it can come and save your ass.
Way too perfectly. So here, actually, there's a lot of gold.
Oh, that's really good combo.
Klepto pulled that thought level 2 gank coming from J4, just mounted. Point and click XD might be getting taken down first.
And this is, oh, he got the TV, but this is still pretty bad for him. So now, this J4 looking for an invade since he have priority over top side. So expect your top side is gone too. So what you could have done here is just you know where J4 is, you can walk up and clear his wave. But you keep in mind that you're much lower of a jungler than him. Now you're still stuck in a golem.
Blooded straight over to Shaden on the Camille.
And the funny thing is that actually almost worked out really well for Point and Click XD, because he actually almost managed to, during the dismount, dodge the knockup. And if he had done so, he actually probably would be able to get away, maybe flash over that wall. But either way, it does get taken down. A nice first blood in the hands of Shaden, especially considering the wave was in a nice spot. And this is going to put Point and Click XD in a really bad spot. Not only is he down in wave manipulation, but he's definitely down in CS and way
You're down 10 CS and 1 kill.
down in pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not playing Malphite, so
And you use your TV. He still has SCP.
this isn't. He's not gonna get off easy compared to the other game, right? Because I mean, when you're playing Malphite, you don't really care.
Flask on use. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so the J4 just decided to get some vision. He didn't clear any word. It went straight back to its bird. So now he's gonna go to his bottom side jungle. But the Sejuani is there. He just took his sweet time to like clear out the scuttle. So if these two fight, Sejuani is gonna be like way weaker than the J4, especially J4 just got an assister, so he might have some level expansion. It's not right now. But even if they're still even in level, if these guys collab, it's gonna be really bad for the Sejuani. Especially you don't know where the J4 is. You're assuming that the J4 is diagonally jungling is taking your top side. You use your Plasco to get some vision, so we'll see. You can put a word right at the wolf and see if he's coming, but bot side is being pushed back, so they have no prior. They can't go. I guess they still can just lift away and run to you, but they're gonna run there later than the enemy bot side. So it's gonna be really hard for the bot side to help you with this invade.
Care if you're giving. I mean, you do care, but it's not the end of the world. But you're playing Kled this time, and Kled is kind of reliant on.
These guys are both low on mana. They're constantly trading blood. So
getting that early kill pressure and able to go toe to toe with your respective lane opponent. But the fact that he gets first blood right off the bat puts him in a very bad.
He didn't even walk through the wolf. He walked through the bush of the mid.
Deficit here.
Skip the wolves. I don't know if I don't have the tool to see if he saw that platform, but he skipped the wolves and he's gonna go straight for the ground. As if he knows where the Sejuani is.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with you on that. I think that it does
kind of. Now these guys gonna collapse, and it's looking really bad for the Sejuani. You see, she just used all her spells on that ground, I think, and she's lower the health also. She got some level advantage because J4 just skipped a wolf camp, but this is looking really bad for her. So she can either flash out and get to safety. Right, you have to dodge this. There's no way. If you get hit by this, you're dead. Because he still have his flash up. And his bot lane is gonna rotate faster. And they still have their flash. Like, we'll see.
Yo, put him in definitely a bad spot to the champion's playing.
Eat 3 AAs before you can flash over the wall.
And Jarvan, in the meanwhile, is actually gonna catch on to the Sejuani.
Like, headbutt over the wall and flash.
Yeah, Glimpse able to take Q over the wall here. Able to get healed from Royal.
Wait a minute.
But Ezreal flashes over the wall. Kiri's going hard on this. Anarch picks up the kill and now Royal.
Oh, this is what I missed earlier when talking about the keystone. So Ezreal is using Little Temple instead of material. Little Temple is kind of good early game, surprisingly for Azir, but you would want material more because you have way more impact with like maxing your Q and then just poke your enemy down, especially if Corki sees he has a really short range until level 6, so you can just abuse the material and the spell burn damage to win the trades. But this is an all-in, so we'll see.
He has a knockup, but that's
he has to blast away, but Azir probably use everything, don't have anything to chase.
Double kill for the J4. Prince of Demacia as AC 130 almost gets a solo kill on top of Young Mid, forces Young Mid to burn his flash as well.
Yeah, wow. So one thing about the Summoner's Rift, you only see like the main keystone and not the secondary. But I'm assuming that if the Ezreal is running Little Temple, the second tree is gonna be Dominations. So he's gonna lose out the damage from the spell burn also.
Wow, there's actually so much going on this map right now, and it's all going largely in favor of Tempest. Managing to get off so many good kills. The Ezreal not afraid to go in for the flash play, cause the damage, and make them need to.
It's also J4 Conquerors is good, I guess. But you can also consider the Presty attack, since Conqueror got nut, but Conqueror is still good.
Be more careful where they're going, and Anarch just committing to the follow-up flash flag and drag means that he gets
good punish. Last time I saw this, sneaky teleport to a lane and get one shot by double lift, and he was laughing.
A lot of penny for his troubles.
Oh yeah, and we see 3 stacks of gold for the Ezreal, and yeah, that just feels amazing when you're playing Ezreal and you have 3 stacks of Sly gold. Definitely cashing in here. Is actually going to opt for the Sheen rather than the tier. I see a lot of Ezreals do this, considering they want to amp up their damage in lane rather than the tier power spike, which is actually very common.
Well, yeah, I mean, the tier power spike is obviously very great, but I think that more with the amount of gold he had, the Sheen power spike that you can get and maybe cause a bit more poke damage to your opponents, especially considering that Sivir definitely is taking away a lot of farm out of it.
So right now, Sejuani is having advantage in terms of farm, but J4 got 2 kills and 1 assist. The only lane seemingly winning is bot lane. So what you could have done is when you're constantly pushing like that, you should try to get some deep risen, and you really need to know this still and know J4 where he is in terms of the map, because right now you have no idea where he is and he's fat as fuck. So he can possibly just run to any lane and then just do counter games and then just clear the lane, double kill people.
Out of this exchange, it's a little bit better for him now to try to get a little bit of damage, maybe force her out rather than kind of commit to, okay,
See some
I'm
like
gonna sit here and stack.
pinging. I don't know why, but
Tier, and you're gonna have a CS lead that takes over the fact that I'm beating you in terms of lane pressure. So I actually really like this pick.
yeah, you guys are trying to find the J4. You see the flu is coming up, so you're thinking J4 is that way. You have the word right here. Red team had the word right here. So it from the position that J4 is running, you won't possibly see him. Maybe you catch him when he walk over here, but that's already too late, right? Because you might get away as a Kled though. We'll see. But Scuttle is coming up, so the jungler is gonna run there and trying to contest it.
And I think that the tier is definitely not a hard buy to get. He'll be able to get it on next back regardless. I think it's better for him to have this damage now and secure the fact that he can try to keep up in CS, knowing that he's a bit down in pressure.
It's good ping.
Yeah, I mean, Sivir.
So what happens is Sejuani is just like walk up this way. He didn't see the J4. He walks up all the way to like that spot, this word spot right here, and then saw the J4 and just run back and then pinging him. So you finally spotted him. He brought the pink word. So it's gonna clear this word. He's gonna get a scuttle, and the entire river side of top lane is belong to the TRG team.
Has this huge CS lead, and I mean, this actually isn't so bad because Samzo can definitely farm his way back up, keep up with his respective AD carry opponent.
Yeah, you see the 2 pings
so it's
on
kind
the
of up
river.
to
So
Kiri to keep up
completely
this
cut
very
off
aggressive
river.
playstyle he's been playing on Ezreal, where he's been kind of going ham in. I'm not sure with what I do when I'm playing Ezreal. I max W second rather than E.
No, you see the trades going on here like this. So if Azir is going material, is gonna get spellburn damage, is gonna get material damage, lost more damage, and for so trade he don't even need to like go in and use his E like that, which is risky. He could have got ganked there right there, but I guess he's pushing his advantage of level 6
rather than E.
And his jungle is right there preparing for the counter game. Yeah, so it might turn out really bad for the blue team if they decide to gank, but that was good.
Hold on, I thought as we do see AC 130 going in for a bit of skirmish against Young Mid. As we see both,
like Gimp's gonna be the first.
Vicinity may be looking for that mid lane gank.
Yeah, it does seem.
Like, if you decide to gank here, I learned something about Dogpa's enemy position manipulation. So if your jungler is coming from this patch, what you could do is instead of staying here, which is closer to the side of your jungle, but you're trying to gank, so you're supposed to do the opposite. You're supposed to walk to this side, which is a little bit to the top. So naturally your opponent is gonna walk the opposite side, the diagonal side, which is closer to your jungle. and make it easier for him to gank. This is one of the mindset that people develop. Like unless they really want to trade with you badly, they're not gonna stay in the same side of the lane with you because it's closer between you and like the enemy champion while you're just trying to farm the CS.
The vicinity may be.
You see, like he dodged your stuff and he just naturally walked to the top side, but your jungler is bottom side. Make it harder for him. He has to walk further away. You basically maintain the same distance with Azir, but your jungler is having to walk further away, and he might need to use his dash in order to get in range, which is bad. And the chick was right there too, but you have no idea.
Looking for that mid lane gank.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, see? Right now the distance between you and the jungler to the enemy mid lane is the same. So, and he's running towards his jungler, which is the J4, the fat J4. If you guys keep pursuing, you might get double kill.
Seem like Gimp's gonna be the first one to come out though.
Yeah, Glimpse is walking down.
Right, that's good.
Yeah, that minion wave was very awkward for him to actually go for it there, but I mean,
That's
continuing on, I think Kiri can definitely maintain a lot of control here with Yuumi here. If he opts to go for the more damage-oriented route, goes Sork Boots, max W second, he will definitely pop the Sivir unexpected.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that, you know, it is implemented kind of how he wants to play the lane. He already gets actually a pretty good chunk of damage there onto the Sivir, but
yeah, he hurts
right now. I was saying, at least right now, it's the difference of that BF sword versus the Sheen, right? Sivir has consistent. She lands 2 auto attacks, and she already does more than the single Sheen proc Q. So it will come down a lot more to the fact that Samso right now can still trade back. They can't be that.
The fact that Astra is behind right now, I would consider it goes right to the Iceborne Gauntlet. Yeah, because most of the damage from the enemy is also.
You know, they just can't be cocky. They can't just think they have this one out.
Yeah,
You just show yourself to the enemy.
Did you see?
So now J4 is pushing the advantage. He's getting Dragon.
Was trying to be made coming out from Glimpse here. Not able to succeed on Shade and just gonna hook shot right out of there. But so far, this Yuumi's poke has been relentless.
Alright, so if he's greedy, he's gonna go for the enemy red, but I don't think so. Because, yeah, he just gets spotted. So, bot lane, he has to respect the fact that bot lane right now, they have more pressure and priorities over other lanes, which is losing.
Oh, right.
But bot lane doesn't have any deep ward in, so. But you just spot him in the river, which
able
is
to sneak
good.
away the Mountain Drake underneath the noses of Conform Gaming.
But yeah, J4 just wiggled to the bot side a little bit. Like, they're thinking, we have to shut down his bot lane. And if we manage to shut down his bot lane, that's game over for, like, lane phase.
It's actually pretty huge here. Nice done coming out from Anarch.
Yeah, definitely is a nice pickup, and you know, just being able to get that and knowing that, you know, they saw set on the top side, which means.
So I expect like a couple minutes from now, there's gonna be a huge fight from bot lane, just because enemy is trying to invest resources into winning the bot lane back. But this might be the chance for you to pop back up into the game with the 2K lead, 2K goal lead, off the bot side advantage.
They were definitely confident in the play. Anarch knew we didn't have to worry about maybe a smite fight or not being in the right spot, as he's gonna just take this blue buff. Actually not gonna get to the Z.
Enemy team, the red team, is not utilizing the fact that they have teleporter advantage. They're just sitting on that advantage. Les have already used this TP earlier, but Camille just sitting on top of the TP and probably just trying to like have a insurance, I guess, in case something go bad. But I would just try to make play with the TP advantage. We'll see.
Here, which I have to say I'm intrigued by. I would have thought maybe that would have been a better play to give him the CDR and the ability to just kind of stay on top of this Corki, but either way, it does kind of see it better in his hands, and he definitely has a lead for it, right? He has a level lead on the Sedge. He's been
because right now he and like entire topside river to herself.
Farming effectively, he's taking the objectives. Where Sed just kind of had a few, dare I say, failed attempts at really trying to get off a good lane gank. So
Yeah.
the Jarvan definitely coming in strong and kind of better than I think we've seen him in the past games so far today. So I'm excited to see how Anarch decides to play out the rest of this.
Yeah, and something to point out is that Anarch's actually running a Hextech Flash. I don't play a lot of J4, but when I do play, I don't normally run it. So I'm not sure if it's any good, but who am I to judge, right?
Right. I mean, more power to you. I mean, I mean, the Hex Flash definitely isn't a bad option per se. I think that just means that even though his flash is down, he can still kind of try to go over a wall and then end up getting a proper, flag and drag on this target, or at least from a bush. So I don't think it's definitely, I don't think it's a bad choice by any means. I think it's an unexpected one.
You guys are pushing your advantage, which is good. You have Absor over the tier, and then just a scene. So I guess it's good. Like it makes up for the summoner spells difference.
Yeah. As you do.
But your Nami been burning out everything. So now she's out
Kiri and Damien going back and forth against Samzone. As we do see point and click
Good
XD
gosh.
going for this one against Camille.
Close to distance.
Not going so well. What happened?
No, I was commenting. He's close to distance.
Alright. See, this is the Nami ultimate engage I was talking about. Nami usually use ultimate not only to save people to disengage or like even use that to start a fight. And you guys are already like see in that position. I guess like could have waited a little bit longer just for the CS to collapse, but I guess there's no wave available, like no wave stacked. So that could be a good call. But yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier about like the Colette and the Nami is gonna ult at the same time.
Mounting actually already.
Yeah. Very close actually.
Oh, that's slow.
Tidal wave is
Good
going to be
zone.
used.
Basically cut off the escape. They're stuck right now. TV is going in.
Almost take.
Sejuani landed a very good ult to that zone. Juke them. Gonna go down time. CB came in really late. Camille probably.
Here's gonna get taken down as slow as the cat.
Ooh.
Ooh, gives hook shot on top.
That's really unlucky. he ult the Kled and then the Kled just like dismount. So he didn't get any auto attack off during that frame of like damage.
Shayna picks up the kill on Royal.
Yeah, now he's stuck in the middle.
Cataclysm on top.
So this is what I was saying earlier. Like you're not trapping. Not only you're trapping the enemy, but you're also trapping yourself.
Point and click XD is dismounted, but he's going to be fighting his way back up. The shutdown goes straight over to Samzo, and overall this comes out as a win, straight over to Conform Gaming.
Yeah, and
yeah, this is what I was talking about, like using your TV to your advantage. Because now the class used his TV as soon as it came out, and it worked out very well for his team. But it's all came in like that TV was really late. There was no way the bot lane is gonna survive that. They got zoned by the package, by the core key, and then they got stunned into the perfect ultimate, like close range ultimate of the Sejuani. That was they invest like one ultimate, two ultimate. I guess the server didn't need to own if there's no TV. So one ultimate and one package, and then 3 ultimates in total. So I would have just take that instead of wasting the TV and then lose your lead up top. You could have just stay top and take the place if the class TV, or like keep pushing your advantage. Because it's already too late for the party.
Monarch, unfortunately, I think overestimated his tankiness. I think he kind of didn't really think about the fact that he has that warrior in chain. He doesn't have the bombing cinder. He doesn't have the means to kind of tank any hits. And Sivir was able to just kind of free hit on him, especially with that BF sword. That was enough to
like 10 minutes ER really good for the Sivir with two out of 2 kills right there and the lead in farm. So from now on, the Azir is pretty much only playing catch up, and the only good thing right now is he can build like Iceborne call it right now, trying to catch up with the Sivir because he's gonna spend the rest of the game catching up to the ER. The difference is so much. Manimune is supposedly like a really cheap AD item, but now you don't even have it now. So why bother? Just go for Iceborne Collar.
Get a lot of good damage on him, and now this fight goes from very much in Tempest's favor to kind of even, dare I say. I think that this game is actually pretty much evened out. I think that Shaden's definitely...
It's not necessarily even, because there's still 1k goal lead, but that was pretty bad call from the red team to TP down there. Because they're already like playing catch up. They're 4 people in position trying to kill 2 people up bot lane. There's no reason to send more people down there.
Still getting the benefit of this, so I think that he is definitely still a big threat. But the fact that Point and Click didn't go down there and even got an assist for his trouble on the J4 means that he's at least getting a bit of recognition and a bit more of a way to kind of cool himself down in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, Siamzo, despite kind of being going up against a very aggressive poke lane, he's 2-0-1, has a CS lead.
And I kind of like this, the ping work, deep ping work right there. Could have set up some more dive with it. Could set up one more dive with it potentially, but still have to pay attention that the J4 is still ahead.
Has a completed item against Q.
He's been farming. He's not been making plays. So now he catch up. Not only he catch up with the CS, he is also having 4 CS lead apparently.
Curious. So Sam's
mid lane is pretty even. I guess both Corki and Azir need some more items.
Is not out of the game yet.
Oh yes, no, Sanzo is not out of the game by far, especially with we saw how he handled last game, the way he managed to really keep himself calm and collected on the late game carry. And I mean, Sivir is definitely has enough late game to be notable. And I think he's kind of playing it the same way about when we talked in the last interview that I think he understands this time around that he's not supposed to be hyper aggressive like he was the first time. Meanwhile, though, we see.
Whoa. Yeah, they definitely should have just stayed on and do that in the first place. There's no way the Clark can do anything for him.
Actually, Point and Click already getting dismounted from a single combo, and that's a hard pill to swallow right now.
Yeah, as we do see Kid.
So, looking back at your VOD, I've seen 2 instances of ganking. So, Sechuani is actively looking to gank. I don't know if it's a good idea because he's basically losing farm. So now J4 is gonna go to look for a dive, possibly clear out his upside jungle also. And also his ganking pass has been going to the bush right here and right here. It's 2 times already. So if somebody go back to the VOD and analyze your like ganking pass, usually they're gonna put a word down there to see it. But I guess you have a ping word right there. But yeah, your ganking pass has been pretty predictable.
Area forced the arcane shift away from the tidal wave.
That's away.
Ooh,
Coming in, but Shaden forcing the flash out of Point and Click XD, but J4 is coming
they
in.
don't have CS.
Almost gets the dismount. Just needs 1 auto and maybe a Q. If he hits all pellets on top, so they're not going to actually go for the top lane dive here.
He could have still gotten
I think that's actually a smarter play. I think that the fact like the auto should come out faster if he has violent tendencies, so he has enough to it. And they already burned the flash, right? Shaden went for the hook shot, only took 1 tower shot for his trouble, and managed to burn the flash. I think that that's definitely worth it for what he's looking for. So overall, they got what they wanted to, and now it's just more a matter of making sure that knowing that Klett's coming back, they're actually going to go for this Rift Tear, which I really like. If they can get it and then use it in a lane before that 14-minute mark, they can kind of push forward their goal that they haven't really been able to hit for a while.
Yeah, I mean, here comes Glimpse, maybe looking.
Alright, Smite fight. This guy just used Smite a little bit early. He's probably just looking for like get the last attack on the Rift Herald, like the eyes right there. He was trying to reach for it, but this is a mismike, so Sichuan is probably gonna get this.
For a smite still.
Yep. Didn't need to smite. I think Sichuan pretty much just smite the J4.
Let's back. Already has a
and it's gonna secure Rift Herald. Okay.
Wait. Wait.
That's
Okay.
the
So they got the Rift Herald secure. Glimpse gets taken out here, and
Nice
here comes
play
AC
by
130. Corgi is not able to actually enter the skirmish, so Cled's just gonna use charge.
You know. Also, the Zero managed to rotate faster than your Corki.
To get it straight out of the fight.
Ooh.
Oh wow, that was actually close. I thought Glimpse was able to steal the Herald there.
No, Leonis, the thing you have to remember is that, you know, I think hitting the eye does like, you know, 1400, 1500
Wait, Camille got it.
true damage, and Smite's only about 600 by this point. So I think that Anarch actually was very smart. He saw Glimpse only.
I thought Glimpse already has a wait. Okay. So they
Wait,
still Cled's back already has a
it was right on top of the. So J4 knocked her off, and Camille ulted.
wait.
Ulted a Sechuani and somehow managed to get the rip. Okay, I have no idea how this works.
AC 130. Corgi is not able to actually enter the skirmish, so Glimpse was able to.
I think hitting the eye does like, you know, 1400, 1500 true damage, and Smite's only about 600 by this point. So I think that Anarch actually was very smart. He saw Glimpse, and he didn't just, you know, blindly start hitting it. He was actually.
Because from what I know, Rip doesn't have a 3D flame, doesn't have a Z flame. So knocking up the Sechuani there whilst he was on top of the Herald Eye, I have no idea how it removed her from the eyes from taking it. It's really weird. That's really unlucky. You guys should have gotten that.
Actually waiting for it to get to the proper threshold that hitting the eye would have netted him the kill. Waited for that and then picked it up that way and managed to pick it up, which is very nice. Limbs gets taken down in the process, and it means that, you know, it means they get the new objective while still getting out in the kill lead, which is very good pickup, especially considering that Shaden is the one who now has his Rift Herald.
Bot is constantly pushing, applying pressure. The J4 has to go down there.
So this Camille is also a huge threat. They can potentially snowball very hard if they allow Shaden to get this free lane so far, because Cloud hasn't really been doing a good job to contest against the Camille. I mean, point and click XD had a very rough start with that level 2 gank, or it wasn't level 2, wasn't it? I think it was level 3 gank on top from the J4. So he lost a lot of momentum with that.
Cloud is slowly catching up from the failed attempts of topside plays. It's not really fail, since somehow the Camille still got the rift, but it's more like a not so perfect place in front of execution.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case, in the fact that he was kind of set behind, already kind of put him in a bad spot, and the fact that since then Camille's been able to kind of keep progressing, and, you know, that's kind of in the state of the champion, that's how she works, that it's not unexpected, but it's definitely difficult for him to handle. I think that we need to see kind of what Camille does once she kind of gets that fade, just finishes off the Triforce. I think that from there, she'll be a lot more of a threat, because she'll have those massive Sheen procs. She'll have the extra movement speed on hit thanks to Phage, and from there, it'll be much harder to ignore her in that 1v1, especially considering Kled by that point will probably not even have the remainder of the components he's looking for his first item.
Yeah, definitely is struggling. He has.
So Ezreal just decided to go Mana Moon instead of Iceborne. The dragon fight right here, he's probably not gonna deserve as much damage as 2PF Severe, but we'll see. He is supposed to go to Iceborne just because it's give him extra stat that's very beneficial. The only damage, most of the damage is gonna come from the Corki R or the Nami. That's it. So a little bit of extra AD is not gonna make up the difference that he has with the Severe. So a couple more CC would have been better for his team.
See Anarch on the bottom side of the map is probably poising himself for the second Mountain Drake. Definitely a high priority for both of these teams. but the fact that Sam's is so strong kind of makes this play a little bit harder for him to execute. Kiri's not so
Wait,
strong. The fact that Sam's is so strong kind of makes this play a little bit.
that's invisible. Wait, is this a bug? A visual bug, I think. If not, then this skin is OP.
Harder for him to execute. Kiri's not so strong. He does have mana Mune stacking, but he doesn't even have Mirror Mana. It's way too early for him. And all he has is the Sheen for damage here. And he can't really contest to a Sivir with Essence Reaver.
Yeah, see, you're so you're either this push or that push. You're always hucking the that you're not coming from the river at all, sexually. You're always hugging the bush. Your ganking pass has been the same. You go you're going through the bush. So if somebody picked this up, somebody just rewatch the boss, like analyze you guys, they're gonna see your ganking pass has always been the same.
And a BF sword here. Zengage is gonna
You're not going through the river at all.
For the Glacial Prison, but for now they burn Arcane Shift and the last chapter, so this dragon is looking fairly easy to execute on the side of Conform Gaming.
Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult than
also you can see from the J-Force perspective here. This has been his favorite bot jungling pad because he wanted to avoid the word at the river. So he's been sitting here like in the last couple of minutes. He's been there and he's come back to the same place.
Now, all right, never mind.
Trying to count again.
I was gonna say I think that the Rift Herald is ticking down on the shade, and I'm wondering if he's gonna use it. It looks like he's just gonna try to get some damage with top lane tower, which is to be expected. Although it does appear the first turret is taken on the bottom side, so there won't be any first turret gold going to the side of Tempest.
Yeah, and you know Shaden doesn't even get the top lane kill off of Herald, or doesn't get the top lane turret off with Herald. So overall, it's not so bad for Conform Gaming, but it's a matter of which are they able to actually secure Mountain Drake here?
Yeah, I mean the Mountain Drake would be very big for them to secure. I think that when it comes down to it, Tempest has a slightly worse siege, and yet since Ezreal is mostly spellcaster based, and since Camille usually wants to kind of dive in under turrets, not necessarily try to siege them. I think that when you look at the two teams,
it is slowly scaling
CFG
up.
definitely has a much better siege potential. So I think that the Mountain Drake is something that they would want to secure, and I think. Hold on.
I have to burn his flash.
Forcing Q to use his flash over the wall to escape, and point and click XD is stuck in Hextech from Matum. Is dismounted, is trying to regain access to Scarl. Needs one or two more auto attacks, which finishes them off. Not able to finish the job there, and Shannon picks up the kill
late TP.
and finishes them off.
I guess he didn't need the help. He was thinking he didn't need the help, and we went for it. But again, that guy had 2 kills over you.
Gain access to Scarl.
He played around his kill cooldown pretty well. He was waiting for it and he went for it. His execution's really good.
One or two more auto attacks, which finishes them off. Not able to finish the job there.
That was on cooldown.
And forces a TP from Young Mid.
Yeah, forcing that TP is actually really big, especially since Young Mid didn't have a package or something else to really follow Shaden, but having that instant hook shot out, he just kind of says, "See you later, kid," and then manages to make his way out. The Mountain Drake does go over to CFG, which is a bit of a danger considering that they do kind of have to get that tower on the top side out of shit.
Mountain Drake is pretty big for them, as you said here. What's the next move for both of these teams here?
I guess after this point, the game is no longer considered as a micro play. So I'm just gonna stop here and decide to bring it to a resolve of the laning phase of both teams. We can see clearly this some advantage of the TRG. There has been not so perfect executions on their side, but it still ended up working pretty well for them. So for the blue side, the things that you can improve on, the comments, the bot lanes are doing really well in this game, and then they're constantly pushing the poke com under turret, so there's no way for them to like poke back. They don't have to waste the mana on the minion instead of the champion, which is really good execution from the bot side. They've been doing that really well. Also, take vision of the river to stay away from the fat J4. That's a plus. But at the same time, when you're doing that, you're not feeding your team any information, so your team don't possibly know where the ganks are coming from, and the J4 has been playing off of top pretty well, and punish the mistakes of enemy top laner. Sejuani's ganking pass has been pretty predictable, so might have to work on that. Corky has always been late to transitioning with the TP, or like in general, like he's very good working his team as making play and pick, but in the reaction department, I'm seeing a little bit of. I'm not saying that he's lacking, but I'm seeing a little bit of advantage of the Azir over Corky, because Azir has always been there faster. So yeah, that's something to work in. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna end the video here, and thanks for watching.